tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is the second dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that up there. I'm trying to delete it. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so hello, Deronda, G from the land. All right, Perplex is in the building. We the people, body and soul, or body soul. All right, let's get into it. Shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuning to the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they stay putting in work. I see you, Nessa G. Okay, Pretty Wings is in the building. Perplex. Let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get started.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, first things first, TMZ has an update on David, the singer, and this whole thing with Celeste. Okay, because TMZ is saying that they were told, they said they have ties to the medical examiner, and they were told that her body was frozen initially. And they're saying that the police are saying that isn't true, that that's, misinformation or whatever. But they're standing 10 toes down on what they said because they said they got it from a very credible source. Okay, so let's go to this latest update and then we'll get into the rest of this nefarious stuff. I'm going to use an overlay because y'all know how TMZ is.
An LAPD captain is disputing part of a story that we broke over the weekend. A story about David, the singer David, and the body that was found in his Tesla, that body of Celeste Rivas. And the part of our story that we broke over the weekend was that that the remains of Celeste were partially frozen when they were found in the Tesla. This was back in early September, first week in September, when they discovered this when David's car had been towed to an LA tow yard. Well, the LAPD captain is saying that the body was not frozen.
So herein lies the issue. We have a very well-connected source connected to the medical examiner, the LA County medical examiner, which currently has the body. And that source has doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and sextupled down actually now, saying that the body was indeed partially frozen when it was received by law enforcement. So that's kind of interesting, but the medical examiner is just telling a different story, or at least the sources we have, and we have sources in all camps in this. There's a conflict here.
We'd heard that there had been this conflict between LAPD and the medical examiner.
There's been tension for several years, but this is kind of interesting. One of the documents at the LA County Medical Examiner's office has an interesting statement. This has to do with trying to fingerprint Celeste's body. It says the decedent was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Right. Why would the fingers
be waterlogged?
Well, certainly if the body had been frozen for quite some time and then is sitting in a bag in this Tesla out in the blazing hot summer sun, yeah, you would imagine that there's going to be some water in that bag.
So you've got to kind of like look at the big picture here. So we told you that even though there has not been a cause or manner of death determined by the medical examiner, and there may not be because of the state of the body, the LAPD is operating under the assumption that this is a homicide and that David is a suspect. And there is an accomplice, they believe, somebody who helped dismember the body. Now, there is a mysterious trip that becomes really important in this case, we're told, that David took to Santa Barbara in the spring of this year, in the middle of the night in a remote area of Santa Barbara County, spent several hours there. We are told the following, that and this is based on sources, that the body wasn't buried, but the strong insinuation that we got was that's where it was dismembered. So what happened to the body between the spring, if this is true, between the spring of this year and September when the body was discovered in the car?
Right. I mean, if this just a theory, I think that it would make sense if they went there just to not have a mess, and that's when they dismembered it, and then it was in a freezer for a long period of time, and then
it almost points to it must have been frozen. And I understand the LAPD captain is disputing this, but our sources insist 100% it was frozen, and that completely makes sense. Partially frozen when the body came to the ME's office.
It also makes sense with the state of decomposition, right? I mean, from spring to when it's discovered in September, when the body is discovered, they say it's in a state of decomposition, but the waterlogging, all that stuff indicates frozen at some point, whether frozen when they actually pull it out or not, because the state of decomposition of a human body from the spring to the summer would be really pronounced, you wouldn't see fingers
Right.
and things like that, even to live scan in the first place.
Yep.
I don't even want to go as far as saying, yeah, we know it's frozen, because
Right.
we don't. This is what
What we're being told, right?
we've got sources, in the investigation, and we have told you appropriately, I believe, what the nature of our source is in connection to this. But I don't know how you put the dots together, connect the dots of spring, say it's April,
say April,
May,
yeah.
June,
Right.
July, August. That's 4 months. What happened to the body during those 4 months?
And
By the way,
the
the
body-
4 warmest months.
That's
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Southern
In
California.
Southern
Right.
California.
And
Right.
it would start to smell. The fact that
The
it
odor
didn't,
was there, though, according to the toe
The
shop.
odor was
Right,
there.
no, at the
Because
toe
it was
shop.
decom-
Right.
because it was
at the toe shop, yeah. Right,
Correct.
but I think remember how long the Tesla was parked on the street? I think that it would have started emitting some sort of, I mean, I'm not a scientist,
Yeah.
but some sort of smell before it was eventually
Right.
towed away.
And obviously, the one thing we can't explain is, how does the body end up in that car?
Yeah.
How
Right.
does the body end up
And why?
in the
part-
Tesla?
Yeah.
And
How? I mean, obviously, someone placed it there, but we can't.
It doesn't
Why
make,
they would have done it?
it's really
is
dumb.
And the body
Yeah.
on top of that was also a process. It was dismembered. There's a lot of factors that go into complicating this issue a lot, right? There's the potential freezing. There's the parts all over the place. It's a very, very sad story. At the end of the day, some of these you see
Yeah.
like what belongings she had, what she was wearing, things like that.
Right.
so, the one thing that I was told by one of the sources is, don't necessarily use logic to try to understand this.
I keep
I don't think
you can.
ringing
Yeah.
in my head. I remember when you said that, and it's been ringing in my head ever since finding out that the source said that the body was partially frozen. Then that leads me to, why was it placed in this car? And I just kept hearing that in my head, that
Yeah.
a lot of this, there's part of this that is not going to make sense.
Right.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Brianna Nunley from Orlando, Florida. When I heard him say this isn't going to make logical sense, that makes a lot of sense to me as like an independent pop culture journalist, because when you hear the way that fans are speculating about this death and this loss for the family, a lot of it goes back to the lyrics, his music videos, and how he makes it very clear in his songs what he did to her. But unfortunately, when we're reporting this in the ethical and appropriate way, we can't say the obvious that everyone is already saying online.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a difference between what people online are thinking and theorizing and what the actual facts are, or even just the information that we can report. So, two different things.
Listen, paying $14.99 a month for a streaming app and
Okay, so that was an interesting update. My thing is, it's been going on for months now, this investigation, and they've not arrested David. I would have thought that he would have been arrested by now, because it's clear to me that he's the suspect. Seems like he's the only suspect. Well, they're saying someone helped him put the body in the car or dismember the body. But at least David, I just don't understand why he hasn't been arrested. And then with all these people saying that he had an inappropriate relationship with Celeste. Okay, he's a whole grown man. She was a teenager, clearly a minor. Why isn't he locked up? I guess because he's making money for the music industry. Somebody's protecting him somewhere. Because other than that, if this were just a regular person who didn't have any type of fame or money like that or whatever, they'd have been arrested a long time ago. Rest assured, okay? That's just facts. And so I don't know what the holdup is, but at the end of the day, this girl's family needs justice, because it was all so heinous and egregious and clearly depraved what happened to her. Okay, throwing her away like she was trash, chopping her body up into pieces, putting her in that car, letting her sit there for months. This is all crazy. Isolating her from her family. I absolutely believe she was groomed and all of that by David, and that he got her to stay away from her family and keep coming back to him, and all the other nefarious things that we've heard. And those songs, like the girl said, you can listen to the lyrics and know that he did something nefarious, okay? The video literally shows him putting a dead body in a trunk, okay? I'm sorry. What more do we need? Sometimes the stories just write themselves, okay? Sometimes the cases solve themselves as well. All right, they're just making mountains out of molehills, because they could have solved this case a long time ago, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? I mean, I did go to school for criminal justice, but that doesn't mean I'm a police officer or have their expertise, right? I'm just telling you that it seems like they should have locked his arse up a long time ago. Okay, so anyway, let's continue, because it is a whole bunch of shenanigans going on here. First off, You all, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it because MAGA is upset. MAGA, this is the end of MAGA. I'm sure you all can see that now. I predicted this months ago, but we can see that MAGA is coming to a close, it seems. First of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene's already exited stage left. A bunch of the people are upset with Trump about the Epstein debacle, and now they're confused. And why are they confused? Because Trump talked all that trash about Mamdani and then practically wanted to kiss the man when he was in there in that meeting. So let's talk about it because they're saying that MAGA, the base, is clearly confused and disoriented. And because during the mayoral campaign, Mamdani was vilified by Trump and many other MAGA voices. He was called 100% communist lunatic. Isn't that what Trump called him? Of course it is, because I reported it to you. Okay, Trump threatened with withholding federal funds to New York City. Remember that? Okay, he said if they allowed him to be the mayor, if they voted him in, he would not fund the city. That's what he said. Now he's all skinning and grinning. Trump is so fake and foolish. Okay, then at their meeting, the tone suddenly shifted. Trump said, Mamdani, I expect to be helping him, not hurting him, and we agree on a lot more than I would have thought. Now, for MAGA supporters who saw the earlier conflict as emblematic of Trump's stance, the sudden friendliness is unexpected and undermines previous statements. Now, some have described the reaction as the MAGA world heads left spinning. Okay, and that's specifically what The Guardian said in their publication, that their heads were left spinning, and that he's sending mixed messages about ideology. Trump and many MAGA figures cast Mamdani as a radical, a communist, a jihadist, etc. Yet at the meeting, Trump explicitly rejected some of those characterizations. He said he didn't consider Mamdani a jihadist and was publicly warm with him. Okay, that creates a mismatch because if Mamdani is the enemy as previously framed, why now was Trump being so friendly with him in that meeting? The tension causes confusion among his loyal base members who expect ideological consistency. See, these people are not that smart. So when you're doing something, you have to be consistent and keep up, the same ruse that you initially had. Because when you start switching it up and changing the game on them, they don't know what to think. Okay, they don't know where to go with it. They're just trying to figure it all out. What is Trump up to? Is this a game he's playing with Mamdani? Is he seriously interested in helping him? Does he really like him? Or is he plotting? And then he's going to later pounce on him and hit him with trumped up charges, pun intended. See, you never know with Trump. Okay, you just never know where he's going. And so they're confused, as they should be. As they should be, in my opinion. Now, mind you, some analysts suggest that Trump is pivoting or showing pragmatism, meeting with political adversaries, city leaders, all in an effort to undermine governance image, underline a governance image rather than pure partisan combat, they say. For example, this meeting is described as part of an affordability agenda. Focus. Now, from the MAGA point of view, such shifts may feel like betrayals of core rhetorical commitments, anti-socialism, anti-globalist, combative posture, and cause discomfort. But for instance, the Economic Times noted that Trump's base was unsettled by this as well as other reversals. For example, remember how Trump was so adamant against releasing the Epstein files, then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he shows up to work one day and says, hey, you know what? Release it. Go ahead. Who cares? Yeah, go ahead, release it. Remember that? Now, I know their heads were spinning then and they were wondering what all happened. But for those of us who have common sense and critical thinking skills, we already knew what he was up to. Okay, that's why we said it on this channel. At the end of the day, like I keep telling you all, Trump's not that smart and neither are his people. So with that all being said, the optics matter. See, for Trump, it's about how he looks and how people perceive him. That's why he takes it so hard when people criticize him. And then he lashes out and does the most asinine things that he can think of. Okay, looking to, basically try to retaliate just for simple words that are not even meant to be destructive or hurtful or mean or whatever, or vindictive. Sometimes people are just honestly giving their own opinions. But if it's something that goes against what Trump thinks or how he feels, if it's contrary to his own beliefs or narratives, then it's a problem. Now, optics matter, and many MAGA supporters have accepted or embraced the narrative of Trump confronting socialists or these radical leftists. The meeting's warm tone undermines that narrative. Social media commentary shows that some of Trump's most ardent supporters reacted with shock, frustration, or even anxiety at simply seeing Mamdani in the Oval Office and Trump appearing to be so extra friendly. I mean, y'all saw the picture earlier. Trump literally looked like he wanted to kiss that darn man. Okay? Queen said it. They really are not that smart. Listen and learn. Thank you, soul sister. It's true. It is absolutely true. Now, so, the long and short of it is the confusion stems from the clash between what was promised, portrayed, and then what was actually delivered. Trump and the MAGA base have been casting Mamdani in an adversarial term, or in very, shall I say, adversarial terms, and aligning him with ideologies that the base strongly opposes, calling the man everything but a child of God. Okay? A communist lunatic, Trump's own words. Then the meeting happened, and instead of confrontation, as everyone expected, I thought it was going to be like the showdown at the OK Corral. But there was cooperation, okay, and cordiality, which muddles the clear us versus them narrative many in the base rely on, because that's how MAGA looks for it to be. It's always them against somebody else. There always has to be some opposition, which is why Trump starts so much chaos and conflict, because that's how he keeps them going. And when he's not doing that, you notice they don't know how to respond. They don't know what to think until Trump tells them what to think. Okay? They're just not that smart. So, anyway, with that all being said, I myself want to know what the hell Trump's up to as it pertains to Mamdani, because that's exactly the first thing I was thinking. Okay, Trump, why are you being so nice? You just talked about this man like a dog. I think that Trump has a crush on this man. I think that Trump is, listen, here's what I really think, okay? I feel like, remember for the ladies, if you remember when we were like in first and second grade, all the way up to maybe third grade, right? Maybe even fourth. But there was the little boy who sat behind you that liked you, but was too shy to say it, or thought you wouldn't like him back, and he didn't want to be embarrassed. So he would just pester you. He would just, annoy you, pick on you, pull your ponytails, sit behind you and yank your hair, and little things like that. Take your pencil and just bother you because he really had a crush on you. That's Trump and Mamdani. Trump has a whole crush on this man. Okay. And that's why he was saying all those hateful things, because he was really mad. But once he was actually allowed to meet him and sit in the same room and get to actually speak to him face to face, his true feelings came out. It was love at first sight. I'm so sure. Robert said they dress the same. They don't dress the same, honey. Trump was trying to dress like that man, okay? I'm sure. Okay, I am so sure Mamdani doesn't want to dress like Trump, and who would? Trump is the one trying to dress like that man. Okay, I think Trump's in love. That's just my opinion. And I'm being very serious, okay? I think Trump is on the, I think he put the B in LGBTQ. All right, I'm just saying. And here's another thing. Y'all want to know why his base is really confused? Let's get into it. Because I was just talking to a good friend of mine before I got on this live. And here's the real scoop, in my opinion. I think that his base is more confused, not just because he was being so extra and friendly with this man. I think they're wondering, I think they felt like there was a little zest in the room. I feel like they thought that when Trump was looking at Mamdani, they saw the same thing that I saw, the zestiness of it all, like he was looking at him with some sort of, like he wanted to have a bromance with him. And I think the base kind of sensed that as well. So now they're really confused, because we all know how Trump and his base and Pete Hegseth, they're always talking trash about LGBTQ and trans community. They're always talking trash about all of that. So now the base is like, well, wait a minute. Trump's always talking about stuff like that, but why is he sitting there looking at Mamdani like he could eat him up like he was a pork chop? Does Trump want bussy? Yeah, I think he does. And so that's why they're confused. If anybody missed it, I do think that is the reason, the source of the confusion. Okay. They're trying to figure out, wait a minute, Trump's supposed to be not on that side of the fence, so why is he straddling it? Okay, but let's continue. I hope that cleared that up for anyone confused. Dorada said, Queen, show the picture of Trump smiling so hard that you can see his wisdom teeth. Not his wisdom teeth. You are so nefarious. Oh my goodness, you are something else. You know, do I still have that picture? Because I showed it to you out earlier. I think I deleted it, beloved. I think I deleted it because I had all those pictures I showed you out earlier queued. Yep. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I sure did. Darn it. Yeah, I deleted it. I can find it later. But anyway, I find it all interesting, don't y'all? But now let's continue because here's the thing. You know, we were talking about his memory and his cognitive ability and how they feel like, you know, the doctors have said that he seems to be in the early stages of frontal temporal dementia. Okay. Well, I was looking at some footage from Trump from a while ago, and it definitely seems like Trump has been going through this for quite some time. Okay. He's been talking crazy for quite some time. Do you all remember when there was a rumor that Trump was, when they asked him about it, the reporter asked him about it, he said he hadn't heard it. Only you know that Trump was lying and that he did hear it, because if we heard it, he heard it, because Trump's online more than anybody we know. Trump's online more than anybody that we all know. I'm pretty sure he's online more often than the news reporters. Up at 4 and 5 in the morning, posting crazy memes and talking crazy and all of that stuff. I've showed you all the proof. But anyway, let's go to it because Trump sat it there and just boldly lied, knowing darn well he heard it. But the question is, why was he missing for those days? When nobody had seen Trump for those days, where was he? I have several questions.
Find out over the weekend that you were dead.
But I'm going to start with Donald Trump, because until this afternoon, he had been basically absent from the public eye since last Tuesday, which was his longest stretch away from cameras since becoming president. And that absence, and you may have seen this over the weekend if you looked at any social media platform, prompted quite a wave of online speculation about the president's health and well-being. So today, when he reemerged from his absence for an event in the Oval Office, even my buddy Peter Doocy from Fox News couldn't resist asking about it.
Something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that.
Really? I didn't see that, he said. Now, as I mentioned, Trump's prolonged absence from the public eye sparked pretty widespread rumors. You probably saw them. But somehow, the guy who is famously online at very odd hours and totally obsessed with his own self-image says he didn't see any of it. Let's see what else he had to say about it today.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him. No, I heard that. I get reports.
Now, that isn't even an accurate summary of his own appearances in public, but that aside, 2 seconds into his answer, Trump says he had no idea there were rumors of his death. But 30 seconds later, in that same rambling answer, he says he did know about it. And then he wasn't even done. He kept going. He kept explaining.
No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff.
I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Now, just to be clear, we went in just a very quick span there. We went from Trump saying he hadn't heard about the rumors of his death to Trump saying he did hear about them from reports, to then back to Trump saying he hadn't heard anything about any of it in the span of approximately 60 seconds in the Oval Office today. Really can't make this stuff up sometimes.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were
Okay. Oh my goodness. This man is so confused. Did he hear it or he didn't? First he didn't hear it, then he heard it, then he did. He's just totally lost it. Okay. Crazy. But now, listen, all y'all can do is pray for Trump. Okay. Even though I don't think anybody's going to be praying for Trump, because in fact, Trump is the same one who told us all, don't feel sorry for Biden. Isn't that what he said? He said Biden wasn't a very nice guy. And if you're thinking about feeling sorry for him, then don't. Just remember he's not nice. Trump is going straight to hell with gasoline draws on. I promise you that. Okay? I promise you that. Queen Hugh said, why does it sound like his polygent is about to fail? It's about to fail him. Honey, I have no idea. Okay, so now let's go to this very important report. This is very interesting because they're saying, and I have several questions. We're going to get through it so we can try to figure it all out because they're saying that welfare fraud in Minnesota has been used to fund a terrorist organization by the name of al-Shabab. Honey, I want to know how this is all going down. And they're blaming it on the Somali community. Not all of them, but some. Let's get into it. I'm going to go to the news report, and then I'm going to get into this other information that I researched about it all, because I find this interesting. Okay, Reggie says that's bad as talking to a man just arrested by the federales. Riz, you are something else. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Y'all be to tell me people out here using welfare to fund terrorist organizations? Now, is this in fact true, or is this a sneaky little trick thrown out by Trump and his administration to cut out the entire welfare program, just as they've already planned? I have questions, but we're going to figure this all out and get to the bottom of it. Trust. Okay, here we go.
Leaders say Minnesota is grappling with one of the biggest welfare fraud waves in U.S. history. And now counterterrorism officials warn some of that money very likely ended up in the pockets of al-Shabab, an al-Qaeda-linked terror group operating out of Somalia. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins has the details from Washington.
Is the biggest funder of al-Shabab, the al-Qaeda-linked terror group in Somalia, actually the Minnesota taxpayer? A federal investigator says yes. An alarming claim first reported by City Journal, which spoke with multiple former federal agents. The U.S. Attorney's Office has charged dozens of defendants across multiple schemes, including housing aid fraud, pandemic child nutrition fraud, and false billing for autism therapy. In total, prosecutors say these schemes have cost Minnesota taxpayers billions of dollars.
Still, there are people that have legitimately could use those resources that are not getting those resources. It's past criminal.
Minnesota is home to one of the country's largest Somali communities. Former state fraud investigator Keish Magan, himself a Somali American, wrote last year that it's uncomfortable and true that nearly all defendants in these major fraud cases come from that community.
They have taken advantage of the most generous country in the world and one of the most generous states in that country.
And according to City Journal, some of the stolen money was sent overseas through informal cash transfer networks. Investigators say once that cash arrived in Somalia, al-Shabab took a cut, whether the sender intended that or not.
Pretty much across the board, people that I spoke to said there really isn't a law enforcement solution to this problem. As you said, that's simply playing whack-a-mole. People pretty consistently told me that, there needs to be a policy change here.
Critics claim Minnesota leaders have tiptoed around the issue, fearing a backlash from the state's powerful Somali American voting bloc. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
So that's all very interesting. So let's talk about that a bit. Because if that's true, that's going to be a whole big problem. Now let's talk about it. There's a couple of reports. Let me see which one I want to go to. Okay, here we go. Fraud tied to Minnesota. Somali terror group al-Shabab taking a cut of millions and stolen Minnesota taxpayer money from welfare fraud scheme. So they go on to say the radical Islamic terror group, which is a long-standing ally of al-Qaeda and considered a threat to U.S. interests, has likely been the beneficiary of money stolen in a spate of scams and sent to Somalia by the criminals defrauding the North Star state. Okay, this is what City Journal reported on Wednesday, citing federal counterterrorism sources. They say this is a third real conversation, but the largest funder of al-Shabab is the Minnesota taxpayer. A source who worked on a federal investigation into Minnesotans attempting to join overseas terror groups gave the information to the outlet, saying that there is an issue here that is real. And if there is ever an event that is traceable back to these funds or to people from this area, then this situation will take on a whole new set of optics. So Minnesota has been plagued by several high-profile fraud scandals in recent years, the largest being the Feeding Our Future scheme, okay, for which prosecutors have racked up 56 criminal convictions and which they allege was a plot to steal $300 million from a federally funded program meant to feed children during the stupid 19 pandemic. Now, let me tell you all something. Feed the Future. I know about that program because years ago, a woman that was keeping my sons when they were little, she had a daycare in her home and she received benefits from Feed the Future for the children that she kept. So that's basically like a check that daycare providers, well, I'm sure they divvy out for different reasons, but in this case, it was a check that was given to daycare providers, and it was for them to use to purchase food items for the children that they kept. Okay, so they could provide them with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and whatnot. Okay, so that's what that program is. So you mean to tell me taking programs that are meant to feed children and using it to send the money to fund a terrorist organization? But let's keep going. So in recent months, the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office has uncovered multi-million-dollar fraud schemes targeting the state's Medicaid Housing Stabilization Services program and a federally funded autism services for children program. Now, the state's top prosecutor believes billions of dollars in taxpayer money has been stolen as a result of fraud. Now, to be clear, this is not an isolated scheme. This is what acting U.S. Attorney Joseph Thompson said back in September when announcing the first charges in the autism fraud scheme. Now, from Feeding Our Future to Housing Stabilization Services and now autism services, these massive fraud schemes form a web that has stolen billions of dollars in taxpayer money. Each case that we bring exposes another strand of this network. The challenge is immense, but our work continues. Now, former fraud investigator Kayish Magan, a Somali American who had worked in the Minnesota Attorney General's office, noted that there was noticed that it was uncomfortable, or said that it was uncomfortable and true in papers that they read last year, saying that nearly all of the defendants in several Minnesota fraud cases, including Feeding Our Future, are from my community, the Somali community. David Gaither, a former Republican Minnesota state senator, believes that state Democrats and the media have ignored fraud being perpetrated by members of the state's large and politically influential Somali community, which has made the problem worse. So what they basically have been implying, and I don't know if this is true or not, but what they basically have been saying is that, some of these politicians don't want to say anything. They don't want to shine a light on this. Okay, they want to keep it on the low because of it's the Somali community. Because apparently there's some kind of political ties or something like that. They've got something going on, or they look at them favorably for whatever reason, which I find interesting. Okay, because they darn sure don't give us any favors. Make it all make sense. 555 says Trump is already cutting funds for autism organization, so this is not good. Right, and that's my whole thing. This is what Trump had already wanted to do. He already was talking about getting certain. So let's continue. Okay, so anyway, they go on to say And then also they talk about this op-ed that was written about it last year. Okay, and they talked about, they said it basically was uncomfortable and true, and that nearly all of the defendants in several Minnesota fraud cases were from the Somali community. So they say the media does not want to put a light on this. And if you're a politician, it's a significant disadvantage for you to alienate the Somali community. If you don't win the Somali community, then you can't win Minneapolis. Oh, okay, so that's the thing. There must be quite a bit of them there if you need them to win. And if you don't win Minneapolis, then you can't win the state. End of story. Now it's all adding up and making sense. Okay, so the fraudulently obtained welfare funds make their way to al-Shabab through the untold millions of dollars in cash remitted by Somalis in Minnesota back to Somali through an informal network of money handlers known as hawalas. Okay, this is what the outlet reported. They say we had sources going into the hawalas to send money. This is what Ken Kearns, a retired Seattle Police Department detective who served on the Federal Joint Terrorism Task Force known as JTTF, he said, this is what he explained. He also said, I went down to Minnesota and pulled all of their records and, well, set all these Somalis sending. Oh, he said, well, ish, S-H-I-T, well, shish. All these Somalis sending out money are on DHS benefits. How does that make sense? We had good sources tell us this is welfare fraud. Okay, you know what? That sounds like welfare fraud to me, because if you're getting benefits, that means that you're strapped for cash and that you really are having a hard time with money. But if you have money that you can send to other people, are you really strapped for cash? That's where they're going with it. So then they say Kearns said that he later determined that significant funds were being sent from people in the U.S. to al-Shabab networks in Somalia. And though it may not have been intentional, the terror group was getting a share. Every scrap of economic activity in the Twin Cities in America, throughout Western Europe, anywhere Somalis are concentrated, every cent that is sent back to Somali benefits al-Shabab in some way. This is what a former member of the Minneapolis JTFF said. For every dollar that is transferred from the Twin Cities back to Somalia, al-Shabab is taking a cut. Okay, so that's clearly a problem. But here's what I want you all to pay attention to. See, y'all need to be listening, okay? Because this is why. Hold on. 555 says, let me Google the percentage of Somalians in Minnesota. No, let me do it. Okay? Let's see. That's a good idea. Now, with that all being said, I want you all to think about something. I want you all to think about, okay, it says right here, the exact percentage is not readily available, but a 2018 estimate from Minnesota.gov shows that approximately 3.7% of Minneapolis residents speak Somali at home, based on the 2000 census data. More recent estimates suggest that over 25,000 Somali residents live in Minneapolis, accounting for a significant portion of the city's population and more than a quarter of all Somalis in the United States. All right, so that all been said, Jay Great said simple, revoke their visas and put them out of the country. Well, all of them aren't doing it. I mean, we don't want to put all of them out because all of them aren't doing it. The ones that are the issue. But here's the thing. Black people, this is what I want you to realize. When these people are talking greasy about us, and listen close, okay? Because when these people, thank you, Nicole said great info. Listen, I want you all to pay attention, because when these people are talking greasy about us, okay, specifically the Africans, okay, now you got these Somali people over here supposedly doing fraud, and then you had the Braiders with this trafficking. Do y'all hear this? But they got the nerve, the audacity, dare I say, to say that we're lazy. To say that they come over here and start businesses and we don't. Of course, they're giving handouts when they get here that we're not privy to. But the bottom line is they can't say anything about us, okay? I want y'all to check them right where they stand the next time they try it. You're over here getting welfare and then sending money back to a terrorist regime. Is that what y'all are doing? Because that's what's in the reports. Tell them that and see how they love it. Y'all are over here allegedly trafficking people in these braid shops, but you think Black women are jealous of you? Tell them that and see how they like it. Okay? They can't say anything about us ever again. All right, read them for filth if they even think about it. All right, but let's continue. Over here doing all these crimes, all right, and they got the nerve to try to go in on us. Are you serious? Okay, let me tell you something, honey. I had to go off on this Nigerian on TikTok because he was all up on my DMs on TikTok talking about, first of all, I saw a video that he did where he was talking trash about African Americans and how we don't need nor do we deserve reparations and that we need to work hard like everybody else. So I messaged him and told him, sir, I would like to debate you on my channel. And then he said he didn't want to debate me because there was no need to, because of course I could come up with a whole bunch of reasons as to why we do deserve reparations, as well as he could come up with a bunch of reasons as to why we don't. So the conversation would likely go nowhere. But he said that he feels that African Americans need to be more productive and out here working. And I said, sir, you're absolutely right. There are some African Americans that do need to be more productive and also need to be out here working. But you know who else needs to be more productive and be out here working, at least working legitimately without doing illegal activities and gainfully employed, sir? That would be the Nigerians. They're the biggest scammers on the land. Are they not? Has anyone recently received anything in your email talking about some prince sent someone $50 million and they don't have the money to transfer the funds and whatnot? Okay, I'm sorry, miss me with it. They had a whole story about them on 60 Minutes years ago. And you want to sit here and tell me about African Americans? Sir, you're going to have several seats. And if you don't, you need to. Because for one, you're a whole scammer, sir. And he was like, I'm not a scammer. I didn't scam anybody. Well, a lot of Nigerians have, sir. And just as well as you want to sit here and categorize all of us, and you want to talk about us in generalized terms and act as though all African Americans are lazy, not to be trusted, criminals, and just don't deserve a leg up. You want to act like all of us, because this is what I want you all to pay attention to. You see, when people look at us, African Americans, Black people, FBA, whatever you want to call yourself, when people who don't like us look at us, you know they don't say, well, that person over there, that African American over there is a thief. That African American over there is a criminal. They're violent. They act crazy. They don't say that about one. They say that about all of us. But then when they do stuff, they want us to just call out the person that did it. Don't categorize them. Don't speak about them in general terms. See, that's what other people want. It's the white people, it's the Mexicans, the Latinos, the Africans, the Haitians, the Jamaicans. All other people are spoken about individually. But when it comes to us, they always want to talk about us in broad strokes. Like all of us have to do the same thing, but none of them do. Like, miss me with it. But let's continue, okay? Because they better not say another damn word about African Americans when we done found out in the past week, the past few days, we found out that y'all are trafficking people through braiding shops. We already heard the Asians were doing it. I already showed the receipts. They were down there doing it even in Mar-a-Lago. Trump knows about it, okay? At the end of the day, Roger Kraft knows about it too. Owner of the Patriots, isn't that who he is? He was there too. There's about 200 white men all involved. Okay? So with that all being said, I find it all so interesting. They better not say one damn word about African Americans or I'm going to go in on them and let them know that we now know that y'all are just crooks. Not all of you. But the ones of y'all that be locking people in those braid salons, the ones of y'all want to sit there and say Black women are jealous, yeah. Now we know the scoop. Now we know what's really going on. And now we know why they lock you in there to get that money. Because if they don't make a certain amount of money, their pimp or traffickers, whatever you want to call them, it's probably going to go upside heads. And that's not even funny. But I would think that Mama Gifted Hands, I would think that if something like that's going on in her shop, and I'm not sure that it is, but if it is, I would think that she's probably the leader of the pack. Yeah, I would definitely think that. But she's now in jail and they're not getting a bond. And I think they're going down for the counts, okay? Because they hit them with kidnapping. That's an automatic life sentence. But let me continue. So with that all being said, good luck, Mama Gifted Hands. Should have thought twice. All right. So now with that all been said, let's talk about why this is so detrimental. I mean, we already know, of course, because it's a whole terrorist organization. This is definitely a threat to the United States. But the question is, what is the Somali government doing about this? Well, don't worry, I got you covered. I looked it all up. So Somali's government has launched major financial disruption operations, such as freezing suspected bank accounts, okay, that are linked to al-Shabab, tax collectors, shutting down mobile money channels used for extortion payments, digitizing government tax systems so al-Shabab can't intercept cash. These are some of the things they're doing. But mind you, mobile money is huge in Somalia. So monitoring these transactions is a major development. They're going to be doing the same thing in the United States soon. Okay. And also, another thing they're doing is military offensives, okay, with local clan support. Now, Somali National Army, known as the SNA, has been running large-scale offensives in central Somalia, recapturing towns and supply lines, destroying al-Shabaab checkpoints that are used to collect illegal taxes, clearing farms they use as control zones. Okay, local clan militias like Macausli, I think that's the name of it, Macausli or Macawisely, something like that, have been critical partners. Okay, and then they have an anti-corruption and internal cleanup. The government has been trying to limit infiltration. They've been purging corrupt officials that are accused of cooperating or taking bribes. Now, that's one of the main things they need to do, because we know that a lot of these African leaders and people in positions of power over there absolutely take bribes, okay, and sell out their own people. LeVar says, did you hear about 300 kids and teachers being kidnapped in Nigeria? It was on the news a few days ago. No, I didn't, beloved. And thank you for that information. This was a recent situation. I'll look into it. I certainly will. Thank you for the insight, your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, with the anti-corruption and internal cleanup, the government's trying to stop or limit infiltration by purging corrupt officials, introducing biometric payroll, so ghost soldiers aren't stealing funds meant for security forces, mind you. Okay, and they say that cleaner security institutions equals stronger counterterrorism. They have new cyber and financial crimes units that they've started up. Somalia recently formed these, and they have a financial reporting center known as FRC, specialized police units targeting money laundering, hawala misuse, and online recruitment. These units cooperate with Interpol and US and EU intelligence, okay? And so with that all being said, these are just some of the measures that they're taking to try to stop this. So I find this very interesting that this is pretty bold. I would say this is a pretty bold move to be over here getting benefits and then sending money back home to and they may not purposely be sending this money over there to benefit al-Shabaab. They could be sending it to relatives or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're saying that a cut always goes to them, okay? A cut always goes to them no matter what. So it's still benefiting them. Now, let's talk about Bill Clinton and Trump. Because y'all, I told y'all that I thought Bill Clinton is absolutely unequivocally Bubba, that they were talking about those nefarious emails. But guess what? Somebody has some receipts, and they're saying that this is Bubba. Now, when I first saw this video, the young lady has a picture, and the picture is Trump and Bill Clinton. The first thing I said was, wait a minute, lady. This isn't receipts. This isn't really proof, because that could likely be an AI-generated picture, and I can't tell the difference. Now, I can tell the difference in AI video footage most of the time, I would think, but photos, you can't always tell. So I had questions, but here's the thing. She has receipts, and she says, this ain't no AI generated photo. So y'all, everybody, fasten your seatbelts. We're about to go on a bumpy ride to find out who Bubba is for once and for all. Are y'all ready? 555 says Mark Epstein stated it wasn't Clinton allegedly. Yes, I know. I played the audio of him saying it. And I said that I don't believe him. Okay? I said that I don't believe him because he also said that he likes Bill Clinton. And basically, in so many words, said he didn't want to put Bill Clinton's name in anything nefarious. Now, that's not what he said, but that's what he was implying. So if he likes someone, you know how it is when you like someone. We all do. If you like someone and you're trying to expose someone that you don't like, but the person that you do like is tied to the situation that you're going to expose for the person you don't like, well, you don't want the person that you do like to get any backlash. Okay? So you'll say, oh, that's not him, but it is him. Bill Clinton's nickname is Bubba. Okay? It doesn't take rocket science. Bill Clinton, sue me if I'm wrong. I absolutely think that Bill Clinton is Bubba. I showed you all years ago that picture, and I've shown it to you even recently, that painting in Jeffrey Epstein's house with Bill Clinton wearing that blue dress like Monica Lewinsky with the red heels. Bill Clinton painted wearing a dress and heels, sitting in a chair. Okay? And what was the story about Bill and Monica Lewinsky? Yeah, we know. Same story about Trump and Bubba. Okay, so it all adds up, is all I'm saying. And not to mention, Monica Lewinsky had a blue dress too. Did y'all even know that? Did y'all know why that dress Bill Clinton was wearing in that painting was blue? It's because Monica Lewinsky had a blue dress too when she did the do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, it was Bill Clinton. Please miss me with it, okay? I don't care what Mark Epstein said. I told y'all it was Bill Clinton, and I'm sticking with it. That's just what I think. Now, of course, this is alleged because I can't prove it, but this girl has some very compelling receipts.
So it's looking like the Bubba allegations are no longer allegations because I have never seen an orange toupee like that ever in my life, except on one person. So if you're somebody that celebrates Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it, I think this is a great talking point to bring up with your family at the dinner table. And I know that a lot of people are saying that it's AI, that it's a deep fake, that they're just creating these fake news lies on Donald. But I had to check for myself. I used a couple of different websites that pretty much said the same thing, that it's real, that these are no longer allegations, that this is not AI created, that it's 100% real. There were some websites that said it was 30% possibly AI created, but it's not looking too great for the Donald. And I think the ancestors have had enough. This is about to be a reality show gone bad on steroids. So it's looking like the Bubba.
Okay, so let me tell you all what some people said in the comments. Someone said, if only he was proud to be himself instead of hating people who are. Somebody said the little hands. It's 100% real. Yeah, Trump does have little hands. If you all had noticed, he has small hands. Someone else says, I've seen people put this photo on AI detectors and it's saying it's real. And then I see people saying it's AI. So I don't know what to believe. I want this to be real, though. Well, here's the thing. If AI generators are saying that it's real and then people are saying that it isn't, I think the AI generator would likely know better than someone who's just looking at it with the human eye, unless they're an expert in technology and AI. That's all I'm saying. Okay? At the end of the day, honey, that's probably real. Okay? And even if it isn't, Bubba, in my opinion, is still Bill Clinton. All right? And I think y'all know that by now. At least you should. Okay, so anywho, and another thing is, hold on. Oh my goodness, y'all have got to hear this next story when I tell you it is so deplorable. These two white men right here had the most maniacal, nefarious, depraved scheme. Let's get into it. Y'all are not going to believe it. But then again, maybe you will. Let's talk about it. This is about the slave trade. Federal prosecutors have said that two Texas men made plans to take over a Haitian island, and they wanted to take the women and children and turn them into sex slaves. Okay? I want y'all to pay attention. Nicole said Bubba and Trump had a freak off. Yes, they did. I think so. I absolutely think so. Okay, Troy said Bill Clinton with a red dress. Okay? It was actually blue, but I imagine he might have looked nice in red as well. Okay, so here's what they say, beloveds. Oh, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I get into this, let's just go to the footage. Let's go to the footage. Because this is just a darn shame. This is just a darn shame. I mean, you have so many freaks roaming around here, just doing all manner of evil and nefariousness. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I want y'all to check out this news report.
Cologuard is for people 45 plus.
Texas men, federal prosecutors say were planning to travel to an island in Haiti to kill the men and turn the women into sex slaves. Dr. Alex Del Carmen calls it the most bizarre case he's seen in his entire career.
Well, this is a very unusual case, right?
According to a federal indictment, 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas from Argyle had been plotting to invade Gonave Island with a population of 87,000, which is part of Haiti. Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas planned to invade the island by sailboat, heavily armed, using homeless people they would enlist from Washington, D.C. to murder the men on the island, take control of the territory, and then turn the women into sex slaves. Prosecutors say Thomas prepared for the attack by enlisting in the Air Force for military training, and Weisenberg enrolled in a fire training academy but later flunked out. Both men are accused of manufacturing child pornography by manipulating and exploiting a juvenile. I talked to Del Carmen about the wild and highly implausible scheme.
I think it's more than just talk, right? So typically what federal prosecutors will do is they're going to look at what sort of planification, took place, and whether or not there was an intent. And in addition to the intent, whether these individuals had the capability of doing this. And all of these elements of the crime are present in this particular case.
But in a statement to Fox 4 News, the attorney for Gavin Weisenberg said, "I encourage everyone to hold their horses and stay tuned. An indictment is simply an allegation. And while there is some truth to the allegations, I believe that it will become clear what actually did not, and could not have happened." If your initial response to the government's press release was, "That sounds crazy, impossible, and absurd," you might be onto something.
I've seen a lot, but I've never seen anything like this before on U.S. soil.
Okay, so absolutely egregious. This is what they were plotting to do. Okay, this is what they were plotting to do. So let's talk about it. Federal prosecutors say 2 Texas men plotted to take over a Haitian island, one going so far as to join the U.S. military. Isn't that something? To acquire training. This lets you know how dedicated they were and how much time they were willing to take to prepare for all of this. Okay, to acquire training for an armed attack with the goal of killing all the men and using the women and children for sex. You see, that's what they used to do back in the old days. Okay, that's what they would do back in the old days. They would kill the men and then take the women for their own. All right, this is all so crazy. I mean, honey, they're just like their ancestors. Make no mistake. Now, Gavin Rivers Weisenberg, age 21, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, age 20, who are from the Dallas area, were indicted Thursday on charges of conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country. This is according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Texas. They were also charged with production of child porn over allegations they persuaded a minor to engage in sexually explicit conduct. Dirty devils. Now, attorneys for both men said Friday they will enter not guilty pleas, saying that they never tried to do any of this. This is what the attorney said. An indictment filed in Texas federal court accuses the men of planning to recruit the homeless to join their coup in Haiti, buy a sailboat, and seize power on Gonave Island, which has about 87,000 residents. Now, it covers 290 square miles, that's 751 square kilometers, okay, and is the largest island surrounding Hispaniola. So Helms said that while he has not yet seen the government's evidence, he thinks prosecutors are going to have a real hard time trying to prove that Weisenberg and Thomas actually intended to carry out such a plot. Now, David Finn, Weisenberg's attorney, said that he encourages said that he encourages anyone to tap the brakes and reserve judgment. He said people have been telling him it is the craziest thing they have heard. And his response has been, yeah, it is. Well, it is crazy, but just because it's crazy doesn't mean that they weren't planning it and doesn't mean they weren't going to actually do it and carry it out. You know how you know that doesn't mean that? Because their ancestors already did that. That's what their ancestors already did. They may not have gone to Haiti and gone to Ganav Island, but their ancestors certainly did. And if it wasn't their ancestors, it's people who look like them certainly went and rounded up people and made them into slaves. So what are they talking about? Don't act like this is far-fetched. This has already happened. And if it already happened 400 years ago, you don't think that it could happen now when they have much more advanced technology and much more, much better ways of scheming and conniving? Of course they do. Of course it can. And it does happen. This is what trafficking is all about. Trafficking is nothing but slavery. That's all it is. Do y'all know that? It is nothing but slavery. Okay, that's what we should call it, human trafficking. That's what slavery was. Now, according to the indictment, the two men worked on the plot from August of 2024 through July, and that preparations included researching weapons and ammunition and plans to buy military-type rifles. Prosecutors also alleged that both men tried to learn the Haitian Creole language. Oh, honey, they were dedicated. Do y'all hear this? Dedicated, determined, and dependable. Now, Weisenberg allegedly enrolled in a fire academy around Dallas to receive training that would be useful in the attack, but failed out of the school. He then allegedly traveled to Thailand and planned to learn to sail, only to never end up enrolling in lessons because of the cost. Broke and dumb. Are y'all hearing this? What idiots. Thomas enlisted in the Air Force in January, according to the indictment, and told Weisenberg in a social media message that he had joined the military to further their planned attack. But their lawyers think that the police are going to have a hard time proving it, or the prosecutors are going to have a hard time proving this in court. Honey, if they have this kind of information and evidence, and they got the kitty corn, okay, they've already got that. They're going down. Anyway, while in the Air Force, Thomas changed his assignment to Andrews Air Base in Maryland to help in the recruiting of homeless people in Washington, D.C., according to the indictment. Now, the U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations was among the investigating agencies, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. The Air Force did not immediately respond to an inquiry about Thomas's service on Friday. Now, the men faced up to 30 years in prison if convicted on the child porn and up to life if convicted on the conspiracy charge. Well, even if they don't get convicted on the conspiracy charge, they're still going down for the child porn. Okay, so their lawyer can sit down somewhere because he's not going to be able to get them off of that. And you can best believe. Okay, they have the receipts. So what do you all think about this? I just feel like it's just so, this is just like, yeah, 555 said, I blame drunks. Okay? Like, this is crazy as hell. They're out here boldly going around trying to find them some slaves. But we're lazy. We're lazy. I want y'all to pay attention. Dumb and lazy and criminal minded, okay? Going out here trying to sign up for classes and you can't even pass the classes, okay, at the fire department. Stupid. All right? Just dumb. Anyway, with that all being said, I'm about to be out of here. Hold on. I have a lifeline for you all. Hold on. I have a couple of things to show you all before I roll out of here. I got to show you all about this scam that's going on so y'all can be streets. They're out here putting stickers on the card readers at gas stations to steal your information. Now, we've seen them do this a myriad of times, but they keep coming up with new ways to improve their nefariousness.
Put the fake sticker on the card reader. They trying to get your info. Look out for this. The real one got the light on it. The fake one don't, and it's facing the other way. The real one facing right. The fake one facing left, which is this. Folk don't put the fake sticker on the card reader. They trying to get your info. Look out for this. The real one got the light on it. The fake one don't, and it's facing the other way.
All right, so y'all saw that. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. If it isn't one scheme, it's another, right? And let me just tell y'all something, honey. This poor man was in Dubai, and listen to this. This man was in Dubai, and he had a ride, or someone called an Uber, and he was the driver. This is a Kenyan man. Poor thing looked like he was scared to death. I can't show y'all the video because of the violence, but let me just say, this man, I gotta show y'all anyway. Hold on. I gotta show y'all this anyway, but I'm gonna try to stop it real quick before the guy grabs him in a chokehold because I can't show that part. It's too violent. But this man is caressing on him. He's sitting in the back seat trying to just like touch on this dude. And then, the dude is like rejecting his advances, and that's why he chokes him out. Almost choked the man out all the way out. Like, what is wrong with people? And I'm just trying to figure out why the man sat there and let him do that. I would have immediately just started fighting, I think. I don't know, but this is crazy. Let's just take a peek at it. Okay, hold on. I had to stop, okay? Look at y'all, honey. Listen, Robert said, don't stop. Honey, I am gonna stop. Reggie said, look how he's looking at it. Okay, looking at him like he was a steak and he hadn't eaten in 2 days. But here's the thing. I can't show it to you all. Like I said, it's against community guidelines. But if you want to see it, go to my ex account. Okay? Go to my ex account, Divine Goddess. Anywho, I thought that was hilarious. Not the part where he choked him, but that part with him sliding his hands up there, trying to touch on that man, honey. I would have him in his face real quick. What are you doing, fool? The hell is going on around here? Oh my goodness. But hold on, you all. So did I tell you all that Mel Gibson is running for governor in California in 2028? And then there were some employees, and this is Training Point USA, okay? Charlie Kirk's people caught admitting to being racist. And if they're racist, he is too. Please miss me with it, okay? So let's get to that. But also, there's a man who was trying to tell other children to murk Black children. We're going to get into that in just a second. But first, let's go to this TPUSA because they say their employees were caught on a hot mic. You're going to hear the audio. I have the receipts. Their employees were caught on a hot mic talking about if they were racist or not. And they admit that they are. And then one says that they are going to recognize Liberia to send the African Americans back. And that he almost feels sorry for the African American Negroes, honey. Y'all hear this? Not feeling sorry for us and talking about they're going to send us back. Honey, I didn't come from Liberia, thank you. But do y'all hear this? And it's the nerve of them racist devils talking about sending us any damn where. We're indigenous to this land. How about y'all? Okay? Because I'm sorry. Europe is not in America. Miss me with it. Okay, I'm sorry, going hard in the paint on immigrants when you're one is crazy work. But let's continue. I'm going to share my screen. That's right. D-Mac said back to where? Exactly, honey. They are absolutely nefarious. Some of them. Well, all of them. All these racists. Okay? Every last one of them.
I've had black friends. What's your opinion on racism?
Now, mind you, this is a hot mic. Like I said, it's a small, short clip, like 41 seconds. But this is literally them talking, captured on a hot mic.
No. What's your opinion on racism? I've had black friends. What's your opinion on racism?
I'm actually racist.
Yeah,
I'm just straight up racist.
He's never not said that.
There's no inconsistencies.
Yeah.
I support re-migration.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
All right.
What is that? What is that? And do you really support it?
I really do.
What is it?
That was a big thing. We colonized Liberia specifically to send the African Americans back.
And I truthfully, I do feel bad. We did that to a lot of them. I do feel bad for the American Negro. I think they do have somewhat of a plight after slavery, and so I do support reparations, but I also support remigration, sending them back. Racist people.
Did y'all hear that? He said he's actually racist. And he does support reparations, but he also supports sending us back, remigration. So we'll give you the money as long as y'all get the hell up out of here. Didn't Trump say something like that one time before? I could have sworn the first time he was in office. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump, for all you black MAGA, didn't Trump in fact say that he would give us $100,000 and we'd have to leave the country and never come back? I'm pretty sure he said it. Somebody give me an answer. Did Trump say that or not? I could have sworn I heard that years ago when he was in office first time. Somebody let me know. Do y'all remember him saying that? Does anyone remember him saying that? Reggie remembers. I know I'm not crazy. Trump said it. Trump absolutely said it. He said that he would give us, because we were talking about reparations. That's when we were real heavy in the reparations movement. And we said we were talking about no reparations, no vote, and all that stuff. And then Trump said that he would give us $100,000, but we got to leave and can't come back. How low down is that? How low down is that? Low down, dirty skank. Hold on, I'm looking into something. Hold on. Let me see here. Okay, here it is right here. There are claims and viral posts saying $100,000 reparations for black people, but they tend to be unsubstantiated or mischaracterized. They don't say Trump said it, they just say that that's been said. No, I remember them saying Trump said it. Okay? I really think Trump said that. Swims is laughing because I called Trump a skank. He is a skank, beloved. He is. Now, let's go to this video. Maybe he didn't say it, but I could have sworn he did. Okay? I could have sworn he did. But anywho, at this point, he give me 100,000. I'll leave America gladly because it ain't shite going on here anyway. Leave here and go straight to Costa Rica. I'll come back and visit y'all every now and then. Okay, so he'd have to give me more than 100,000 though. But listen, I want you all to listen to this man because this guy allegedly tried to coax children to murk black children. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. He's trying to infiltrate the minds of the youth, supposedly. Now, this is my first time hearing this. I have not seen this on any news stations, surprisingly, but this is a man who's an online racist personality, encouraging kids to murk black children, even threatened to shoot up a school. Let's get into it. Okay, Nessa G said he did say it. Thank you, beloved. I thought he did. Honey, because I've been paying attention to Trump and the racist rhetoric and foolish things that he spews. Okay? Thanks, beloved. Let us continue. This is all crazy. This man's online saying these things. How does he still even have an account?
Guys, I know you say that's a kid, but I'm going to wake up the children and the Jews, okay? So stop being a hater. I want to radicalize the kids to hate.
Y'all forgive me for this situation. I'm on vacation, so this isn't normal. But this is a very important video. And some of you get mad, forgive me, I'm going to straighten this. Some of you get mad at me for doing this, but I can't risk posting what I'm going to share on any other platform. There is a man on the internet targeting children. And he's encouraging those children to murder black kids. And in one of his videos, he even threatens to shoot up a black school. Now, I've posted the entire video and report on this man on my X account. I'm going to encourage you to go there because we need to get the attention of Attorney General Pam Bondi, the FBI, and anyone else who can put this man in prison. Because this is not freedom of speech. This is not entertainment like he claims. This is encouraging children to murder. Go to my X account, search my name, you'll find me.
Honey, Pam Bondi, he wants us to call Pam Bondi. Listen, Pam Bondi doesn't have time for this. She's too busy out here trying to get Trump's political enemies put in jail, sir. She didn't give a damn about kids getting murdered, especially black kids, honey. She didn't have time for that. We're going to have to figure this all out for ourselves, clearly, because Pam Bondi didn't have time for it, honey. She's too busy going after James Comey, a person who didn't do any damn thing. The only thing he did is get on the bad side of Trump. Okay, the FBI, they don't have time for this. They don't have time to go and stop this man who's out here allegedly trying to get black children murdered. They don't have time for it. They're too busy walking around cities, picking up trash, harassing people who didn't really do anything nefarious and all of that. And let me tell you all something. Speaking of that, I saw a video the other day where the FBI were out there with the boots on the ground with the ICE agents and National Guard and all that, right? And so they stopped this man and they were harassing him, basically, in my opinion. And then they told him, yeah, Amy said Pam Bondi isn't going to do anything. No, she isn't. She doesn't care, honey. She does not care. No, Buckhorse DC said this American mountain is caving outside in. Okay. Jay Great, yeah, we know Jay Great. We reported on it, beloved. We reported on it. Thank you. But yeah, Pam Bondi doesn't have time, honey. She's not gonna do a darn thing. She's got her hands full trying to be Trump's own personal attorney and make sure that she gets all of his political rivals on trumped up charges, no less. So why would she have time for this? This is serious work. And the FBI doesn't have time either. But like I was saying, I saw a video the other day when the FBI was harassing this guy. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And the FBI was saying something about the guy had like it was something petty. It was something like maybe a traffic citation or something stupid. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And the FBI's like, I'm doing my job. And the guy's like, this isn't your job. And the FBI's like, what do you think we're supposed to be here for? To get crime off the streets, perhaps, not to harass innocent people who are on their way back and forth to work, not to be making traffic stops. Isn't that the police's job? Like, this is all some stupid arse stuff, okay? Just really stupid. And then let's talk about this woman who was convicted for the 2016 abuse, strangling, and dismemberment of a 10-year-old daughter on her birthday. She walks free after just 9 years. Anyone care to guess what color she is? Elon Musk doesn't report on these stories. He doesn't post these on X, but he's always posting stories about black people who killed white people, which is so stupid to me, Elon, because Elon, don't you know that white people also kill black people? Yeah, they do. Specifically, they have something that they do. It's called hate crimes. Why didn't he post about that? I can't stand Elon Musk, okay? I cannot stand Elon Musk, but let's continue.
The mother of Victoria Martins, who pleaded guilty in connection to her daughter's death, has been released from prison.
Michelle Martins was sentenced 3 years ago. News 13's Gabe Chavez has details, and he joins us live now in the Newsplex.
Dean and Jess, Michelle Martins took a plea deal in 2018, but wasn't sentenced until 2022. Today, she's a free woman.
Before you signed this document, did you read it and discuss it with Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
This was the moment Michelle Martins entered into her own plea agreement in connection to the death of her daughter, Victoria Martins.
I find that the defendant is aware of her rights. She has made a knowing and voluntary waiver of those rights. The plea is not the product of any improper force or coercion.
In 2016, 10-year-old Victoria Martins was killed in a Westside Albuquerque apartment, her body dismembered. Her mother, Michelle, was charged in connection to Victoria's death, but was not present for it. Michelle Martins was allowing Fabian Gonzalez to stay with her before Victoria's murder. Gonzalez and his cousin Jessica Kelly convicted of endangering Victoria and trying to dispose of her body.
He preyed on Ms. Martins, and she was in a position at that point in her life that she was easily manipulated by him.
Michelle Martins pleaded guilty to reckless child abuse resulting in death for failing to protect her daughter from Gonzalez and Kelly. As part of the plea deal, she testified against Gonzalez and Kelly, then District Attorney Raul Torres defending the plea deal.
I recognize that these revelations are not consistent with the public's perception about what happened to Victoria, but I want to share this information with you in order to help the community understand.
In 2022, Judge Cindy Leo sentenced Martins to 12 years in prison, but 6 years were suspended. The judge making it possible for Michelle to serve only half of the 6-year sentence. Now out of prison, she will have 5 years of probation. News 13 spoke with Michelle's defense attorney today.
She's worked real hard. She's been a model prisoner. The court recognized that. And she worked real hard to help the state try to solve the case of her daughter being killed.
Next August will mark 10 years since the death of Victoria Martins. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Gabe. Fabian Gonzalez was sentenced to 37.5 years in prison, but could be eligible for release at 17 years. Jessica Kelly was sentenced to 44 years, but could be eligible for release after serving about half that time.
All of them should never get out as far as I'm concerned. I don't give a darn at the end of the day. Okay, to allow something like that to happen to your child is just ghastly. Okay, to be involved in it's even worse. Okay, this is not justice. That child would have been 20 years old. That was 10 years. She didn't get to live her life. That is so sad. A beautiful little girl. I feel so bad for her. May she rest in peace. I hope those people rot in hell. I wish them the absolute worst. Okay? I literally do. But now let me tell you all this. So this hairstylist in Maryland is going to jail. She's facing up to 10 years. And she's not an African. She's an African American. And what did she do? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, a teenager came into the salon, 15-year-old girl. Now, mind you, the stylist is a teenager too. She's 19. But a girl came into the salon to get her hair done, and the stylist got upset because the girl didn't pay. And but let's go to the footage. Let's go to the footage. Now, I may have to stop a part of it because she drags the girl by her hair. Just dragging her like a rag doll, mind you.
In the video that
See her by the hair right there? Now I'm going to try to slide past it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me put an overlay on here. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to cover this up until they show that part because I'm not trying to get in trouble with YouTube. Y'all can miss me with it.
that has more than 54.
Okay, there we go. I know y'all be wanting me to show stuff, but I'm not trying to get a community guidelines strike, honey, because then I can't post for a week. Y'all can miss me with it. Okay, now listen to this because they're going to tell you what happened. This is the hairstylist at the top, and that's the teen at the bottom. Look at her hair. It looks like she pulled some of it out because the girl's mom said that when she grabbed her by the hoodie, she actually grabbed her by the hair as well.
4 million views. You can see 18-year-old Jayla Cunningham dragging her 15-year-old client by the hooded sweatshirt, saying,
They made her statement.
Jayla claims the 15-year-old was trying to leave without paying for the $150 service that included a weave with tracks. Jayla cutting the weave out of the teen's hair with scissors.
Now, here's the thing. So she cut the girl's hair out, mind you. Okay? The girl's mother is beyond livid. The girl's mother is livid. First of all, she says her daughter was going to pay, but she sent the money to the wrong Cash App. I don't believe that because the young lady said the girl ran out of there. Girl, why are you running if you didn't do anything? Okay, please make it all make sense. Please make it all make sense. But let's continue.
The service.
She ran. Forget tried. She ran without paying me.
And then what did you do?
I dragged her by her hood back into the salon until I can get paid, or until the police come, or until she let me take out the service. Because it's like she literally ran outside like she was about to be gone. I feel like if I didn't do that, she would have been gone, and I would have just never been paid.
But the 15-year-old's mother says Jayla also dragged her by her hair when she grabbed her hood, and says that her daughter accidentally sent the money to the wrong Cash App and was trying to pay Jayla.
It's just absolutely absurd. It's viral. It's all over the country.
And how is she dealing emotionally with this?
Emotionally, not good. Not good at all.
And Jayla Cunningham says that she had no clue that she was charged. We brought it to her attention tonight. She says she heard it for the first time, and that she has received death threats as a result of the viral video, so she has moved her hair salon to another location.
Okay, now I want to know you all's thoughts. What do you all have to say about this? What do you all have to say about this? Let me know your thoughts. Okay, Jay McClellan says sounds like kidnapping. I mean, it's like what the African ladies did, really. Okay, that's assault. Yep, it sure is. Here's the thing. I don't like the way she handled it. The fact that she grabbed her by the hair and dragged her back in there, even though the girl was wrong and the girl was trying to leave. Okay, we know she was trying to leave, mom. Her mom can sit there and say she was not trying to leave. She was going to pay. She was trying to leave. Okay, she was trying to leave because otherwise the lady wouldn't have gone out there after her. And why did she run? You ran because you're trying to escape without paying. And so the girl, was overreacted. I'm not gonna say she overreacted, but she shouldn't have done that, because you got to think, people, you can't allow your emotions to take control. You got to think, is it worth it? That hairstyle was $150. It's going to cost her more than that to bail out of jail, hire an attorney, fight the case, because she's going to have charges. Okay, because the girl's mom's definitely going to file a case against her. So with that all being said, yeah, she should have handled that differently. Let me tell you all something. When I was doing hair, because I used to do hair years ago. Okay. Years ago, I used to do hair when I was in college for criminal justice. I was doing hair at that time. And there was a young lady who was a teenager, came in to get her hair done one day, and she was like a regular, probably about 16 or 17 years old. Long story short, I had shampooed her hair, set her in the chair, and was about to put some foaming pomade to mold her hair and sit her under the dryer when she said to me, "Well, I don't have the money today, but I'm going to pay you next week." And I said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "Yeah, I don't have all the money today, so I'm going to pay you next week." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I picked up a brush, brushed her hair into a ponytail, put a rubber band on it, and I said, "Come back next week, because that's when I'm going to finish your hair." Okay, don't play with me. That's annoying. You don't do that. You ask the person first. At least the girl, let me know what she was plotting. I'm glad she did. But because I could have been in jail too, because who knows? Okay, I was young back then. I don't think I would have, gone upside her head or anything like that, but I probably would have told her a thing or two. But the bottom line is, you can't just be putting your hands on people, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth me going to jail for a few days, few hours, having to bail out? It usually isn't, if you just think before you react. And that's what people need to start doing. Black people have a habit, nefariously, of always getting in our feelings. We do, myself included. I get into my feelings sometimes too. But at the end of the day, I also have the wherewithal to calm myself the hell down, because I know that I'm going to be a whole lot more upset if I'm sitting behind bars. Okay? If I'm sitting behind bars, honey, I'm going to be a whole lot more upset. Now, with that all being said, we're almost out of here. I want to show you all this last video. This is a group of African women who say that they are burning their wigs and opting to wear their natural hair. Okay, African women are burning their wigs and now choosing their natural hair with confidence. In this video, Zara Hadara burns her wig as a statement and encourages other women to openly embrace their roots with pride. All right. Shout out to the natural hair. Y'all need to stop putting stuff on your crown chakras anyway. How many times do I have to tell you?
porté la perruque parce que je ne savais pas encore prendre soin de mes cheveux. Il fallait d'abord que j'apprenne à me connaître. Ensuite, il y a elle qui l'a porté parce que tout le monde le faisait, parce que ça paraissait normal, même si ça ne l'était pas pour elle. Et puis, il y a elle, pour qui la perruque était une protection, un moyen d'exister dans un monde où ses cheveux n'étaient pas les bienvenus. Ici, ses boucles dérangent et son volume fait désordre. Elle qui a choisi la perruque par fatigue parce que c'était plus simple, plus rapide. Quant à celle-ci, elle l'a portée par peur, peur de ses propres cheveux, peur de mal faire, peur de ne pas être suffisante. Et il y a aussi elle, celle qui porte encore la perruque aujourd'hui, pas pour se cacher, mais parce qu'elle aime avoir le choix. Quant à elle, elle est encore en chemin, elle se découvre doucement, elle n'est pas encore prête, mais elle avance à son rythme.
She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She didn't want to burn her wig, honey. She said, this wig costs too many coins, honey. I don't have time to be throwing my wig in a bonfire. Y'all can go ahead if y'all want to and wear your own locks, but I'm going to keep this wig on, girl, because I spent my coins. That's what she said about it. But so anyway, D Major said, sounds like they're speaking in tongues. D Major, sit down somewhere, okay? Sit down somewhere. Going in on those people's native language, they didn't sound like they were speaking in tongues. Now, you know, those fake pastors, well, they're real pastors, but they're fake prophets. They're false prophets. Be sitting up there acting like they're speaking in tongues. They all need to sit down somewhere. Okay? Troy said, if you're wearing a wig, I got questions. Coco said, I'm so happy to see this. Are you, beloved? I was happy to see it too. I just think that women need to embrace their natural hair and stop trying to, fit in with other groups of people that don't look like you, because that's really where it came from. Okay, that's where that all came from. Black women had no problem wearing their own natural hair back in the day. Now everybody wants to conform to society's standards of beauty. And if you ask me, the societal standards of beauty in my eyes are me and Black people who look like me. Okay, sit down somewhere. Love your own hair and the skin you're in, honey. There's no way in hell that I'm going to put on hair that doesn't look like mine, and in fact reminds me of that golden retriever that I used to have. It doesn't look anything like my own natural hair. That's what I'm not going to do. And then, like I said, you don't know what the person who that hair came from, you don't know what they went through, what they experienced, and energy is contagious. And then you wonder why you have trauma, depression, fear, anger. You're just feeling all these myriad of emotions and don't understand why bad things are happening. You just have dark energy following you or whatever. Okay, the wrong people being attracted to you, coming up and, attracted to your aura. You don't know why. It's because of the energy that you have surrounding you and attached to you. Okay, that's what it is very often. Y'all need to think about it. And then some of these women, they give their hair away when they have cancer. They get their hair cut out because they know it's going to fall out. Battered women and all kinds of things. So I'm just saying, y'all might want to think twice. And why are you covering up your crown chakras again? Does that make any sense? You know that's useful to you, right? Your crown chakra. It actually is beneficial. All of them are. All right. So anyway, Nicole said, I wear my natural hair, but I ain't burning my yak stack. Okay. True Snow said fibroids. Exactly. Perming your hair with these chemicals that contain ammonium thioglycolate and other harsh chemicals has been linked to fibroids. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I giving you medical advice. I'm simply telling you what some researchers have said. Okay. So Jay McClinton said, I haven't permed my hair in years. That's good, beloved. All right. So anyway, I'm out of here. J Love the Queen said exactly. Incantations and spirits get onto hair. They absolutely do. And that's no joke. Okay. D Major said, what's the most important chakra? All of them. All of them. Okay. And listen, D Major, I can tell you right now which one of your chakras you're resonating with. That'll be your root chakra. I can tell right now from your nefariousness, okay? I remember that day you said the little slick comment. I can't remember what it was, but it's obvious to me, D Major, that you operate from your root chakra, which is the one that tempts us to do nefarious things and gets us into trouble sometime. It's down there by the private area. That's the one that gets people out here cheating and all that stuff. That's the one that you're resonating with, isn't it? That's the one that you're working and operating from. I can tell. I can absolutely tell. You see, why are y'all laughing? I'm being so very serious. And he knows I'm telling the truth. He knows I'm telling the truth. That's why he's not going to try to debate me on it or go back and forth. He knows I've got him dead to right. Troy said, said D Major, you get the side eye. Okay. Not the side eye. Anyway, listen, I love you all so much. You all make me laugh. Y'all make my day. I think that because I love you guys so much, I think I'm gonna do a special Thanksgiving live. I think I'm gonna do it like early, probably around 10, okay, before everybody starts eating and all that. But I will do a Thanksgiving live, okay? J Love said, Queen, you cracked me up. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Coco said, Queen, you got you together, honey. Okay. He knows he's nefarious. Jay Gray said he needs Jesus. Of course he does, beloved. We all do, but specifically D Major. Okay? I'm teasing with you, D Major. You know I love you. Okay, so listen. Everybody enjoy the rest of this night. Okay, you all enjoy the rest of this night. I will see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. All right? Make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel because you don't want to miss a thing. Okay? And each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay? Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating